Hello and welcome, friends, to another draft here in Magic Arena. My name is Matthew, aka Mystic Bigfoot. Got some coffee, got some drafting ahead of us. We're gonna be doing some more Avatar. We are fresh off of a 3-3 loss with a pretty sweet blue-red deck that didn't quite get there, mostly due to pilot error. Hoping this time we avoid that and I play a little bit better. But anyways, see you back for pack one, pick one. We'll say I haven't quite fixed that yet, so we've still got the good old arm microphone stand. So it is what it is, but it's all right. All right, we're getting into this one. Commons, I mean, nothing too spooky, nothing too noteworthy. I like the Path to Redemption and the Journey and the Abandoned Attachments. Cycle of Renewal, it can be okay. I've not had the greatest of luck with it. At Uncommons, I like the Sun Warriors, maybe more than most, and the Scroll and Azula. Though, again, maybe not picking up the Waterbending Scroll super early. That being said, we've got a pretty sweet rare here. Wartime Protesters is incredibly powerful. I mean, on its face, a 4-mana 4/4 with haste is nice. I mean, it's a little underpowered these days, but that's still very good. It's an ally, a rebel for what that's worth for other constructive purposes, but it allows you to get other things have haste, and that's really powerful. Okay, this pack has some good stuff going on too. I wouldn't necessarily mind going towards red-whites with the allies that white often provides. I think that's probably the best pairing. That said, we also have a Lightning Strike. I do like that card quite a bit. And then, less notably so, is the Cave, the Deserter, the Redemption, and then I guess another Abandoned Attachments. Judy, I found to be pretty good. You kind of want the right deck for her, but if you can make that work, she's good. But so now the question is Glider Staff or Aang's Staff? Glider Staff or a Lightning Strike? This is a very strong card. I will take it. Okay. This pack has a couple things that are of a special interest. We've got an Epic Downfall. I think this card's very good. Momo also very good too. And a compassionate or a forecasting fortune teller. I don't think the healer is something that you would take over any of these three cards. Iroh's decent enough, but if you're not lessons, you're not playing it, so not worth considering. So do I want to go into blue? Do I want to take the best removal spell? I mean, I don't like white-black, nor do I like red-black particularly much, so the downfall isn't as interesting. I think it's then between the Fortune Teller and the Playful Pet. I think we'll just take Momo. This pack has a Zuko, so if I had taken the black card, maybe I take Zuko to follow that up and go that direction, but I mean, this card gets a lot worse in black. So now we're at a situation where it's... What do I take? This pack actually is quite weak beyond the first card, so it's like maybe I take the Captain. Don't really want to take the blue cards. None of them are particularly good. The dual land is just whatever. I'm going to take the Water Tribe Captain and be reasonably unhappy with that. Now this pack has got some very good stuff. There is a Sokka. Very sweet card, but a little hard to make work. That said, it does pair really well with the Wartime Protester. But I think between the two things, I have to take the Submersible. Like, the card is just insane. And if neither of these were in the pack, I think it's pretty clearly I would take an Airbending Lesson. The card is just quite nice, but this card is really insane. It literally is Mana War, a 3/3 Mana War. And seeing this late is certainly a signal that I'm not going to ignore. Now here I could take the Fortune Teller and kind of set myself up to be in blue-white. That feels kind of the direction that we're going. Take the blue-red land. The Earth Kingdom Soldier is a little underwhelming. I mean, I'll take the blue-red land. You know, you never know. I certainly think it's got a higher chance of being good in my deck than any of those other cards. And now, okay, well, I mean, I don't mind a Meteor Sword. If I'm going to do multicolored stuff, I do like the Blasting Jelly quite a bit. Yeah, but I do like the Meteor Sword, personally. And now, the Waterbending Scroll Wield. Is that something that I'm interested in? I don't think so. I think our deck is looking kind of sweet. I'll just take the white-blue duel. Because we're looking pretty likely to be happy with that regardless. I don't think I'm going to take the Lost Days, so I'll just take the Deserter. Alright, now we've got, I guess the Warship is okay. I can't say that I'm like super interested in splashing the Protester, because you want to kind of curve this, but you know, never say never. This isn't an ally. I'm just not playing it. I'm going to take the land on the off chance we get something really sweet. It would have to be very sweet, though. That is not very sweet. So this pack has Obsessive Pursuit, which is, I think, to be a fairly decent card. However, it's kind of in a color pairing that's a little weak. White-black is maybe the natural home for it, but blue-black also very good. We are only one of those things, and that's still a question mark on how blue we're going to be. Because we certainly, I mean, I'm not married to the fortune teller, but I might splash something like the submersible. Kind of depends a little bit on what floats our way. I like the river spirit, but this does not seem like a river spirit start. And the jailer is just fantastic, so no reason not to just take a good white uncommon. All right, we've got an interesting pack now. Pack 2, pick 2. The cards that stick out are like Firebending Lessons sold out, Jet, Path, and Flopsy, Earth King Protectors, Transistor. I think those are all fairly decent cards. And then it's fairly filler after that. For us, I mean, Jet is really good. And if we are playing blue, we do have one land that already lets us cast Jet that is blue, so we get an extra source for free. So between these two, I mean, the deck probably wants interaction. And I think Jet still kind of counts, even if he's a little expensive. 3 cards that we get here. So it is looking like we might not be playing red per se. And if that's the case, or rather blue, getting past these two things is quite the story. Now for us, I actually do think the Firebending Lesson is better here, but not by a tremendous amount. I mean, this card is very good, and we're likely to pick up a couple more lessons past this. Like we would play Airbending Lesson, we would play Waterbending Lesson, something like that, but we'll take Firebending here. This pack is significantly worse for us. Not playing any of these rares. No land to take. Can't play the flyer. I don't really like the farm animal either. So there's actually just stone cold nothing I want to play. Okay, what am I most likely to play then? None of these are allies to go with this. Actually, there's not a single ally in this pack. So I guess the Messenger Hawk? Certainly not going to play a Porcupine in this style of deck. What is this one? Mystic Remora. Cumulative upkeep. Not for us. Kind of a sweet little commander card, I feel like, but nah, not for us. Yeah, I mean, we're not taking any of these blue cards. I guess we'll just take the Disciple. As we venture more and more into red-whites. Rockalanche is a pretty sweet card. Earthbend X, and you can flashback to Earthbend X, where X is the number of lands you get. That's great. Not for us, obviously, but I do like it. Here, I guess I could take the Rabaru Trap. Not something that, or Troop, not something that I've really experienced with much, but I do think the Trusty Boomerang is going to be end up being better for us. Now, this is an interesting one. I actually do think this is a deck that might play the Southern Air Temple, certainly more than the Blue-Black or the Blue Land or whatever, so we'll take that, see where we go, and we wield a Path to Redemption and a Deserter and a Lesson. I think here, we're looking like we could use a little bit more interaction. So I'll take the Path. 2 redemption. Take the rare, the dual land. I might just take the mythic. Actually, yeah, that's a mythic that I don't have 4 of. No, that's not true. I have 4 of this one. Well, it's 40 gems. Is 40 gems better than a dual land possibility? I think the answer to that is yes. Lopsy's very late. So I'll just take a land, I guess. I don't know. I don't think any of these guys are getting in there. A cadet? Sure. Can't say I'm excited with where we're at and where we've gone, but Pack 3 is going to have to be a little bit good for us, or we're going to be fairly unhappy. So, obviously Azula, she's an insane card. That is not for us. We're kind of this aggressively slanted red-white deck that has some ally synergies. Jet, Momo, the Deserters. So, looks like we could use some 2-drops. And maybe we play this submersible, but probably not. So here, it's like Suki versus Wandering Musician versus Airbending Lesson. I think we're not in a huge hurry to get the 4-drops, but, you know, we probably could use one more here. Day of Blacks, that's a very good one. Fancy Footwork is a fantastic card. It's just the kind of the trick that you want it to be. Very good on offense, very good on defense. It's very good in general. Another River Spirits is good. I like the Trebuchet a lot. I think the 4 toughness with the reach actually does go a long way, and then black tends to want a thing or 2 to sacrifice, so that plays out fairly well. Fortune Teller is good, of course, but I think we're happy to just take the Fancy Footwork. The 2-drop would be nice, I won't lie. Would be nice. I guess it being a lesson is also noteworthy. This pack, I mean, here's the thing. That's why, like, you know, we're not in a rush to get 4-drops because there just tends to be a lot. That said, this 1-drop I don't think is super strong. We're kind of just playing it out of reluctance. Aang at the Crossroads, and we have Meditation. No, we just can't do that. We'll just take the 2-drop and be a little sad. Appa versus... Oh, someone's going to end up with a sweet deck. Yeah. I don't think we need another expensive thing, though I do like Appa. I think we just need... I mean, he's not an ally, so that does go down a bit in value, but... eh. Not looking like a deck for Hebei. Hama as well. Man, this could have been a sweet deck, but... eh. Such is life. As it stands, we're not playing the Submersible, which is a little sad. We probably would play the Southern Air Temple. And maybe the ship. So this might be our last card to see something new. I could have had a second pursuit. Yeah, something was severely off with this draft, and I'm sure that I did not navigate it properly. Destined Confrontation is like a sort of a board wipe, but I don't think it ends up being particularly strong, nor does it sound like it would look good in a deck that is aggro slanted. Though it's kind of nice with the cadets, because obviously they're like weaker and stuff, but... oh wow. 13 creatures, 13, 14 creatures with... I think we just gotta play the Battle Fan. Nah, we'll take the Glider Staff. Sure. Okay, I mean, this ended up okay. I'm not writing home about this deck, but I do think this will be able to win some matches. This is 25 cards, probably about right. Don't think we need to play Jet's Brainwashing, but maybe I would. 16 lands with a Meteor Sword or 17 lands without it. Probably worth it to just not play it. Yeah. Unsure of how I wanted to draft that differently, but I think I had some opportunities to do some fun things. 9-8, that seems fine to me. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick screen cap, and I will see you guys back for the first round. All right, we are here. We got kind of an interesting little one. A Momo into a Zhongzhang Dessert to make this a 2-2. Cute little 1-2 punch. Forecasting fortune teller. Huh? Then I get to play a Suki. I mean, Momo's going to do, hopefully a little bit more damage. I mean, they could have the counterspell, but if they don't, obviously we're in a good position. And if they do, like, they still have to deal with what's on the board. It's kind of my main line of thinking. It's like they still have an active threat they have to deal with. So if they're holding up mana to counterspell, then I feel like I'm in a pretty good position. All right, they're at 14. We're at 20. Waterbending Scroll, not a particularly concerning threat. They could draw for 3 mana. Okay, well, obviously that was a weird draw, but we will play our land. I could Path to Redemption that, but that just seems too aggressive. Noting that if I'd used Fancy Footwork the turn before, we would have gotten in an extra damage or 2, so... It is 4 damage, or an extra 4 damage on 2 unblocked creatures, so... I mean, if they just play one big creature here, we just get to Path to Redemption it, make it unblock, or it can't block, and then we get to give +2/+2 to 2 other things, so... Unfortunately, that is 2 things, but... Okay, well... So I can Path that, I can Trusty Boomerang that, and then attack. I think we just do this. Eat one of their creatures. Suki does the same. They're down to 2, and there are 4 lethal threats. Well, not exactly, but I think just spending my mana that turn probably is for the best. I mean, on board, that doesn't matter. Maybe it's a fight spell, Rock Avalanche. They just take 2 in the air. Yep. They saw the writing on the wall. They needed to deal with the flyer. And even if they, for some reason, let's just say they had the shoot spell, like 2 mana, do 2 damage to something. We got to follow that up with, they would have no other creatures probably. They could block this, they take 2, so they're just very dead. Now, there may be like 1 turn from stabilizing, so was a good thing that we it worked the way they worked. I don't think you should play Rock Avalanche and Waterbending Scroll in the same deck, personally. But on to the next. Alright, this hand is notably weaker than the last one, but I suppose it's still a keep. We get to attack for 2 on 2, then we get to attack for 1 the turn after exiling their 3-drop. Not a particularly spooky thing. Are they just gonna have a firebending thing? Or I'm not unhappy to have drawn the Warden. Mostly due to its fact that I want to try to save this for a 3-drop. So 2 things. 1, this can't block already. And also it'll attack with the lifelink itself, so I might as well just... You know... 2/5 does block the board reasonably well. Plus, next turn we get to potentially double removal spell, so I think that'll ultimately be better. Submersible, bounce my Musician. Hit me for 3? Sure. If they have counterspell, they do not. So now I'm feeling fairly decent about our position. It's not maybe the strongest, but they're going to make this a 3/3. They'll have a 3/3 and a 3/4. If they give it Menace, we can double block. That doesn't do anything. We do get to block that 3/3. So let's try to do this. I'd rather this guy resolve. Could be a Sokka's Haiku. Now, in the world where they kill this in response, I do only lose one of my things. I think that's acceptable. It's a risk I'm willing... Some of you may die. That is a risk I am willing to take. I mean, getting to double removal there was very strong. They could easily board wipe here at this point. Thankfully, that was not the case. And now we just get to... Wow. We get to Octopus form. Then they can block the Wandering Musician, take 3. If I attack that, they block there, and they take... Let's see here. They block this. They take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they're just dead. I was 1 off, but thankfully I'd counted 1 over to begin with, so it being just 8 was totally reasonable. Yeah, Jet was a very good draw, of course. Granted, had I not drawn that, it still looked like I had lethal, right? So I could have attacked with the Fire Nation Cadet and pumped it a couple times. That was a fun one. A little red-white aggro deck, though. All right, back for the next match, and we have kind of an odd one. I don't think this is a keep. I just don't have a 1 or a 2 drop. I mean, I could draw one, but I only have really 1 turn. And if my first thing is like turn 3 Fire Nation Warship, that seems fairly weak. And yeah, this seems great. Been probably the Kyoshi Warriors, I guess. One of the 4 drops for sure. If one of these was a 3 or a 2, I might be inclined to get rid of the mountain and just assume, but half my hand doesn't work without it, so... Go action, Momo. Get in there, little buddy. Drawing on one of my last 4 drops, also not ideal. I'll say that much. Don't really want to let them trade at the moment. We'll play this guy. I can crew with Momo. And an enthusiast, you say, huh? I think, in my eyes, the play that I'm going to make right now is go the Protester. If it dies, it dies. But then, if it doesn't, we get to follow that up with Suki, so that's very good. And this is an attack for 6. Like, this is something relevant. We're going to have to see them do something pretty spectacular here to catch up on board. I'm almost a little surprised we didn't see a chump block with the pretending Poxbear. Phoenix Airship, eh? That is a good card. It is Crew 1. It's crazy. So here, what we're going to do is certainly Suki, Crew, and attack. Actually, this guy, Momo, can't attack. Yeah. Jeez. Suki's crazy. Just kidding. This is all thanks to the Wartime Protester. I mean, they could block here with this. Honestly, it'll have done its job. And they can kind of block however they want. They can eat a creature, they can chump a creature. But they don't get to kill Suki. Then, like, she's most of their damage. So probably, yeah, like that. And then chump on Suki takes 6, 7 damage. They lost their airship, which is certainly one of the best cards in Black-White. Well, I say one of... It's probably just stone cold the best card. It's like the synergy card for the deck that is based on that synergy. And it is a mythic. That said, they were a little far behind. We got to go crazy with the Protesters when they didn't have removal. So what are they going to do now? Day of Black Sun X is 1. Airbending lesson my Suki. Okay. They're still kind of dead on board. They can block one thing and they just lose. And then we follow up play 1-1. EG. Nice. Alright, got another match. Magus of the Arena. I don't know what that is. I don't know how you get that one. Unfortunately, not every curve can be Momo into Zhong, but Cadet into Zhong. Totally fine as well. We have a nice little 1-2-3 curve. Might be really good. The Great Divide Guide, you say, huh? I feel like I can attack for free. Like, there's just 0 chance they block, but... we'll chill. Sadly, I have essentially 0 removal for that thing. Heyo, you say, huh? They are battling. They got a lot of good cards. Teo, Divide Guide with... Yeah. Had I been able to kill this... Katara into Teo. Man, their deck is sweet. I mean, I can attack with the Fire Nation Cadet, and they can't really block. And then we follow that up with something. But they have the Blasting Jelly to shoot it next turn, so that doesn't feel great. I also don't think I like the... like, if I just cast Suki this turn, they just shoot it, and then they get to draw a card, and that's pretty bad. Same thing kind of goes with the Wandering Musicians, but... Unfortunately, I cannot equip with the Firebent mana, nor can I can't, there's just no real option that lets me do two things this turn. So let's get our one thing in for free. I was going to say that would be crazy. Then we'll just play our 2-5, which has the strongest chance of doing something. Also, we didn't even have the Firebending mana. But, you know, probably was worth talking about. And a Sokka to follow that up with. Man, their deck is sweet. I mean, theoretically, if we can answer this, we might be okay, but probably not. Well, that's even worse. Yikes, Aroni. Well, we're not just dead. And we do get to attack them again for 2. Yeah, I mean, this is just brutal. It's just unfortunately the most mana efficient thing you can do. I think we chill one more turn on the chumps. Once again, I cannot do all the things, but we can do this. I think it's just important to try to race. I mean, obviously we're not really winning at the moment, but I don't think we really can come back as effectively as they can. That puts us to, I think, 1 life. I mean, technically, if in my deck I had the double strikes 2 in a red spell, that would be lethal. Block, block, creature, creature. Bummer. Well, first loss. That's alright. Alright, found another match. Hopefully this one goes a little bit better. That's a tough one. I think this is a keep. We have access to 9 planes. And we do get to go Fire Nation Cadet into shoot/pump, question mark, question mark. So it seems fine, but definitely not anything to write home about. Gran, you say. Well, we're just going to Firebending less than that right away. Now, had I been able to do that on the play, you know, this game actually probably goes a completely different direction. You know, drawing Mountain, not particularly what we wanted to do. Footwork was not a bad draw necessarily, but... Anyways, we get to get in there. And if they would like, they can block. Now if they have Counterspell, actually. You know what? That is a reason to have done that in the other order. That is very true. We just chill this turn. I could have maybe gotten in, but I didn't really want to trade it with the Cat Owl. Considering next turn I have access to removal plus fancy footwork if I want. Yeah, maybe I should have played around the Quencha. Having a 1-1 would have been kind of nice, though. I guess admittedly not too crazy on this board. So that is a vigilant creature, which is kind of nice. Is it creature or artifact? Five mana. They drop like a waterbending scroll. That would be kind of rough. Lost Days in the Kyoshi Warriors. I don't know. Merciful, bounce something. Crashing Wave, tap my things. You know. So I guess given their leaving 2 critical mana open, we're gonna just do that first. Do this, get our 1 damage in. And now I could theoretically, well, that doesn't matter. Though it does allow them to draw some stuff. Crashing Wave, I do think it's a fairly decent card, but yeah. UA is not going to do the trick here. And for 7? Not too bad. Trade their 3/3 Vigilance. Now they play a Snowballer, tap one of my Fire Nation Cadets. It's pretty good. 5/6, so it does mean I should probably... And they're just gonna, you know, block the Cadet. That's fine. I guess I could have activated this earlier with the mana. Probably shouldn't matter, but it might. That was a ridiculous draw. GG. Nice. That was a fun one. Turns out I should have cast Momo earlier, but I'm not sure what else they would have counterspelled if that had resolved. And probably would have counterspelled Kyoshi. Yeah, they had a lot of ways to not die, but not a lot of ways to earn / get ahead. I stand by killing Grand on turn 1. I don't know. I think if you have it as an option, you should just do it. Right, another match found. Playing for another win. This hand is... it's got some power, I'm not going to lie, but it does not have everything that you want. It's kind of lacking a 2-drop creature that's not the Battle Fan. 3 drops as well, but can't really mulligan this kind of a hand because it does have just a lot of power in it. But I don't think it's anything to get too excited about. They are also playing red-whites. Can't attack or block. Get rid of their land, stop that from being able to block. It's possible I wanted to use that on a different spell, but when they go Omashu City into Plains, like they're definitely playing 3-4 colors. And I think removing their ability to do their thing is worth it, so. Looks like they might have a lightning strike or a firebending lesson type thing. Okay, that makes sense too. Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to get underneath of them being able to set up, so the more we can do now, the better. Next turn, we do get to Jet for 3, or we get to Zhongzhong Deserter plus Path. Boggy? Oh, that's perfect, actually. Yeah, Jet's just so unreasonable here. Attack for 10? Like, what the hell? Yeah, that's probably correct. I don't really know. My guess is they've got a better, more efficient way of dealing with Jet that doesn't involve putting a counter on this dude, but... Oof. We've just 2, 3, 4, 5'd them, and it's all been reasonable plays. This being maybe the weakest, but, you know, stopping them from getting 3 life is not irrelevant. That is not relevant. I have 2 lethal attackers. This guy is going to be 3. Actually, if they only deal with this and plan to chump this, this is actually another lethal threat because we put a counter on itself, it gets a counter from this, and then we put the last power from the battle fan. That said, that does require them playing multiple blockers and dealing with Jets. Yeah, we're just not giving them time to set up, and that is exactly, I think, how you're supposed to kind of try to build these decks. Yeah, so it looks like they might have. Fair enough. They were going to maybe Firebending Lesson plus Chomp. That's not good, and obviously we just have them lethal in our hand, so nice. That was kind of a questionable keep, and it kind of worked there quite nicely. All right, we are at 5 wins. Inching close to that trophy, but already very happy with our results so far. I found an opponent almost immediately. And this hand is pretty bad. The reason I say that is, I mean, I can cast the Waterstripe Captain on 3. However, I have a lot of 2-drops that I could draw that would actually still be bad. Like I could draw the Cadets, the Deserters, Disciple, the Archers, and I don't know. I think it's just weak because it doesn't have any interaction plus those things, and the mana isn't great, so... This hand doesn't feel good, but I guess I keep it and hope that I draw something. We're talking mountains. I'm going to keep the double plains for Kiyoshi's Warrior. I will say this hand has basically everything. Actually, you know... I think we could just Path Redemption this. It stops them from getting value off of this leaving. Essentially just tempo their thing. Now they play that, and we get to... I mean, actually, if they play this next turn, they put a counter on this, and I draw a land, we're good, but... I think it's just far safer to do that. And it's not like the Wandering Musician is anything particularly astounding, so... Kind of wish this was just on creatures you control, but, you know... I kind of want to hit a land drop. We did not. So now we get to Wartime Protester potentially attacking. Iguana Parrot, huh? Well, if they have Octopus form, this doesn't work out particularly well for me, but... Aang hit my Alright, I mean, they got a lot of flyers. That's not irrelevant. This is not an ally, just to recall that detail. Silly game. I mean, they're at 12, I'm at 14. This isn't great. I do have one blocker I can hit. It kind of depends on what they do. Messenger Hawk is nice. Good little Temperino. Crazy. Okay. So this, I could just play the Wandering. So first off, that's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're at 9. So we would actually have to theoretically do something or present a lethal attacker. So here, I could play this guy. He becomes a 3 power, and then attacks becomes 4 power. And this is 9, so it's not quite lethal. So we do have to play a fair game, sadly. The Archer, probably just discarding the Boomerang at this point. And then... Alright, unfortunately we have to be on the defensive. We didn't quite have lethal this turn. Maybe next turn, you know. If they play the Deserter, they can put a counter on Aang. Becomes a 4 power, which can't quite attack into the Wartime Protester, but does still die to this. We have 2 flying blockers to their very much flying board. So we'll see what they do. The Deserter does not let them do anything particularly astounding, but they have 4 cards in hand, so they could very easily have something that would change this equation very quickly. If they can kill my Protester, we take, what, at least 2, 5, 7, 8 damage. And that is with blocking something. So I think if they can kill... Again, just kind of assuming that if they've got a trick, we're fairly dead. Razor Fangs. Deal excess, gain some life. Nice. Well, that is a good draw for them, of course. We get to play our Wandering Musician. Make it a 3/6 flying blocker, so... You know, in theory, we're okay. Jesus. Alright, well... This was an interesting game until the very end. But, you know, they played a 6 mana spell that won them the game. Actually, it's only 5 mana. Crazy. Maybe my math was wrong. Had this been like the haste guide, like the 3 mana one, that could have been really good too. The 3 mana make it, it's a 2/1, it's got haste, it makes a 1/1 ally without haste. That was good. I think I could have maybe played this a little bit better, sequence things differently. But I think that was a mulligan anyway, so it is what it is. We had a very defensive hand. We didn't really present ourselves as assertive. The problem was that opening hand of 7 kind of had that same problem, but without any interaction. So we would have just lost to their first wave of stuff. Yeah. Anyways, on to the next match, which we found almost instantly. And we're happy to see where it leads. Cadet, Footwork, Freedom. Fire, Fancy, Freedom, Fighter. There you go. Now, notably, this hand is not, like, horrendously strong either, but it does kind of got enough of the missing pieces that it's probably going to be okay. Such an awkward little card. I might... It's kind of close. We have 2 mana. Let's start off by going to attacks. I just think I want to hit my 5th mana, so we're going to play that. A little awkward, but... They play like a 2/2 we can trade it for. 3/3. That's a decent little guy. Let's just play our land, and then I think we just get in with both. I feel like they just take this. There's an... I mean, I'm representing something. And at 3 mana and not activating the mana with the cadet certainly precludes that to be true. Certainly I'm just going to take that. Okay. Aang, airbend my cadet. My archer. Interesting. Okay. I feel like there's just no world where they block. They do, sure. I'll take it. Okay. Well, now we get to go jet into these two. So I actually have the choice of what I want to curve into. Do I want a fancy footwork or do I want to jet? That's a free block. They've got a trick. I'm happy to have them use it. Razor Rings. Azula always lies. Sure. Gain life. That is actually fairly relevant, I'll say. Okay. So, with this new information, our attack is our jet is a lot worse. Maybe we can bait out something more relevant. Plus, playing another creature or two is going to be good. We don't have any more spells that matter about color differences. We just need a double of one. I mean, they're at 17. That's a lot of life. Okay, well, I won't lie. This is not the strongest response to the Azula always lies, but that was really good versus me. I mean, if they're playing white for the ally value and then black for the everything else, you know, that's pretty good. Certainly make this block, have them do their Earth Kingdom Protectors. Like, sure, that was going to happen regardless. And now I get to cast Jet to kill the Aang. I might actually just kill the Water Tribe Captain. Problem right now is they are at 16, I'm at 10. Water Tribe Captain represents 4 power plus 3 power at the moment, with the giving +1 to everything. The fancy footwork does change something with the Deserter, but they've got 1 mana left, so we can X4 plus Jets. I think we just play this guy. Maybe after attacks. Though there's a good chance that they would just take it, and I don't have that opportunity. So we pass this turn. Now, next turn, we've got a lot of power on the board, actually. I mean, I am at 10. And they have 2 creatures that attack nearly lethal. I could chump this turn. I think I don't do that. That might be a mistake. Maybe that was the opportunity to chump. Now they play their own Momo. Hey-Bay, sack Momo. Good card. Counter on something. Scry 2 possibly. Make it a 3/4. Well, we can make a Fire Nation ship. That's kind of nice. I guess this is maybe a little bit better to do. This does block all of their flying creatures very effectively. It also avoids sorcery speed removal, which, you know, may be irrelevant. Maybe it's not. Contending pox bears. Alright, this hay bay is going to get to be quite large. So the question will be, should I sacrifice something to it? I've lost my boomerang, which is an okay answer to it. I have a staff, a glider staff. I've got airbending lesson. I have path to redemption. That's 3 good ways to answer it. Out of 24, that's 1 out of 8. The Earth Kingdom Protector Jailer does a decent job too. So now the question is, do I accrue this, double block? Do I chump with jets? Okay. I mean, actually, all of these kind of feel relevant right now. The life probably the least so. I guess I changed my mind. Glider staff. I mean, I'm going to make them do it, but they just exile this and... Oh, it's not a creature, so that way it dodged it. Nice. Now, clearly we're still basically losing, but now we technically don't lose. Well, putting the counters there would have been better in retrospect, but I like not losing. We kind of have to draw 2 things here. 2 cards to hit, but that does count as one of the things, and that also does not count as one of the things. So, funny enough, here, I kind of... So I draw a card. I probably need to do it now so I could play like a glider staff or an Earth Kingdom, whatever. No, that's not it. We could have hit a couple cards there. The Jailer would have been interesting. Actually, I suppose they put the glider staff on the thing that it comes back. Basically, we needed to draw Path to Redemption there. And I'm not sure there was much else we could have hit. The Azula Always Lies on my 2/5 was pretty backbreaking. There really wasn't a way to come back from that, felt like. And I think in hindsight, the Momo play wasn't super strong. I don't know. Such is life. I think this one was winnable. I don't think I put myself in the best position to win it, though. What does that leave us at? Is that the third? Well, 5-3 for this deck. You know what? I'll take it. Anytime I get more than 4 wins, 4 or more, we'll be pretty happy. The draft was interesting. I think Boros was contested because we didn't get a lot of the good stuff. We were short on some lessons too, so these cadets were fairly mediocre. Um, maybe a Jets brainwashing would have been a good addition, but yeah, the Air Temple. I don't know. It felt like weaker. Maybe it was better than the Boomerang. Hard to say. There are board states where the Boomerang is nice, but not this go around. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. We all had a good time. I'll see you in the next draft tomorrow. I hope you're having a good week. Take care.